Hi, this is Steve Austin on the airnetwork.net coming to you live on this Wednesday evening, just in time for that Golden State Cleveland game. And I got to say, only a few things about that. Go Warriors. I don't care if LeBron wins another championship in his lifetime. He's already won a couple down in Miami. Yeah, he left Miami to go back to Cleveland after cleaning stuff up and people burning him in effigy many years ago. And all I can say is, you know what? LeBron makes enough money. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. Now, I feel bad for some of his teammates, but nonetheless, you guys went in there and worked with LeBron, you got paid, and so everybody like Kyrie Irving and the rest of you, well, you're just going to have to suffer because Steph Curry, quite frankly, is one of the best ball players I've seen over the last 2 or 3 decades. He's incredible. He can shoot from anywhere. He could be at McDonald's and shoot like into maybe sheets. That's how good he is. So anyhow, speaking of those people in Huntingdon, hey, tomorrow night, Penguins take on San Jose Sharks in what I hope will be the Stanley Cup winning game. Yeah, they played around enough with these Sharks already. It's time to just blow them out Thursday night and then have the parade on Friday. Now, according to the Pittsburgh Police, if you're heading to Pittsburgh tomorrow night to watch that Penguins series with San Jose, if they win, you only have 90 minutes to celebrate. That's right. They don't want you downtown after 90 minutes down in that area. Matter of fact, they'd like you to just pack it up, get in your car, and go. Now, I know some of you will be coming over from West Virginia, and you'll be bringing your own couches and stuff, wanting to burn stuff down. But hey, if you can't do it in 90 minutes, well, you better get out of the state of Pennsylvania because you will be going to jail. They will have an official parade, by the way, on Friday or Saturday if the Pens win tomorrow. So why don't you just save it? Because you may have to get up and go to work on Friday anyhow. So just celebrate a little bit at Consol Energy Center after the Penguins beat San Jose. And then, just come back down for the parade. That's the way I look at it. Meanwhile, locally, softball, the Lady Rockets of Southern Huntingdon taking on Bloomsburg. That's coming up on Thursday afternoon. Airtime, by the way, at 2:45 with the pregame show, followed by the first pitch, of course, on Honey 103.5. I don't want to call them our sister station, because really, they don't pay our rent here, but at least I work there, and they pay a couple of my bills. So anyhow, you want to check that game out. Let's see what else is important. Oh, Hillary pretty much has beaten everybody in the Democratic ranks. I kind of feel bad for Bernie Sanders because, I thought the guy had a hell of a shot. He wants to give away everything. And that's all right because really it's not his. And we pay for taxes for everything. I was just talking with a guy today. Good example. You work all your life, you buy a house. All you pay on it, and you put in overtime, and you really work your ass off. You get this house, and it's paid off, and then, bada bing, out of nowhere, you still got to pay the insurances, the utilities, and more importantly, you got to pay Uncle Sam. So you can never get out underneath this thing, because you're always going to be beholden to somebody, even though you own the property. And Uncle Sam didn't do anything to help you out. When you're putting in those weeks where you're working maybe 90 to 100 hours that week, putting away money for your kids to send them to college and all that stuff and buy this house and maybe a car. You did all the work, but Uncle Sam reaps all the benefits. And then basically, well, let's put it this way. If you don't pay your taxes, a couple of years later, they come in and take your shit. And that's incredible. I kind of missed the Steve Austin Show live in Raystown Country on the Air Network. We're going to be bringing it back very shortly. Yeah, because, the radio gig is cool, playing the music and stuff. And it is some bizarre music sometimes. And I'm only saying that because, I don't control what I play. I guess I do to a certain extent because I got into this secret place today in the computer. And I found some gems, some songs that we should be playing. And I'm like, oh, hell, Christina Aguilera. She wasn't even born in the 60s or 70s, but maybe I'll take a chance and play this someday. But there's some other stuff in there, so we're going to explore that the next couple of weeks. If you're listening to us on Honey 103.5, weekdays from 3 to 7, that's cool. Now, my good friend Jeff Speck will wake you up each and every morning at 6 a.m. He's there till 11. And then there's Nancy Plum. The lady talks about, her lunch every day. And then we have this new girl. Her name is, what is her name? Jennifer Warnes. Jennifer. Well, I know, but anyhow, she's on from 7 until midnight. But they tell me she's on other stations too, so I don't know how that works. It's all magic. We use magic in radio. Now, on the internet, the stuff is live, or I guess it could be actually canned in a computer too. But I miss talking about controversial things. For instance, did you know that the Attorney General has a twin sister. Now, I never knew that till today. Kathleen Kane actually has a twin sister, looks just like her. And she works for the state, too, like in one of those attorney-type offices. Well, now she's suing her sister, the attorney general, because she says, listen, I'm making $88,000 a year, but I found out there's other guys in my office making like twice the amount I'm making, so I'm suing the state of Pennsylvania. Now, listen to the twin sister that's doing all the griping and carrying on. Here's the deal. The reality is your sister is in enough shit already. No, seriously, she is like getting ready to be run out of town on a rail. Matter of fact, she's going to leave under her own volition. She's not even rerunning. She's not going to run for another election. She's just out. There's been enough crap, and then here you come. Sort of like rubbing insult to injury, man. You want extra. Well, take that to another court. Take it to the Supreme Court because your sister, she ain't got enough time to take care of that right now. Kathleen Kane has enough of her problems. How about the situation in Huntingdon County where all the people, the Gearharts, God love them, Oneida Township, Sunoco comes in. They want to put this pipeline across their land, and we talked about that on Raystown Country when we were doing the show. And a lot of protesters are down there, and I think they'll be at the courthouse here in the next couple of days. Basically, they're just going to ask the judge and the people that put them in jail for protesting on their own freaking land, be a little bit, be a little forgiving. You know what kills me? Like when you go into a court of law, and this is serious shit, they always have you put your hand on the Bible and swear to God. Well, you know what? You understand, in the Bible, there's some rules and regulations that even the courts aren't even following. Although God does say you have to listen to the authority of man. But, you really should be just kind of like, following the Bible. And where does it say in the Bible that a large corporation can come in and put shit on your land and then take it over, and then the justice system backs them up? Oh, that's incredibly crazy stuff. Now, what else is going on? Juneteenth, don't forget, next Saturday, that's Saturday, June 18th. We'll be at the Portstown Park, as we always are, as our 7th year gets underway. This year's an exciting year because we'll have loads of vendors, lots of food, entertainment. Urban Fusion will be in the park doing jazz, R&B from 5 until 7. But here's something really cool. We got in touch with Marcus Colston, the wide receiver with the New Orleans Saints, who, by the way, he won a Super Bowl. And he grew up in Harrisburg, but he had relatives in Mount Union where his mother Josie grew up with his Aunt Bernice. And I knew them. And so we made a request earlier this year that Marcus come to the park and be a part of Juneteenth, make it like a family reunion, because he's going to see a lot of his aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff, and he's bringing his family with him. Well, guess what? He agreed to be in the park with us next Saturday. That's Saturday, June 18th, from noon until 8 p.m., although we're not sure how long he's going to be there, but he will be there. And we're not going to bother the guy. He's coming in. We're going to give him some awards because he's a really cool guy. But I imagine, that means the attendance is going to go up because you know how people are around Huntingdon County. They're nosy. They want to see what's a professional football player look like, especially a guy that Drew Brees was throwing the ball to for all those years and having quite success, I might add. So that's kind of an honor and a privilege, and we are going to be in Portstown Park for the 7th annual Huntingdon County Juneteenth, and we hope that you're there from noon until 8. And we're giving away prizes like we got a TV, $500 in cash, $200 in cash, all these gift certificates, and we're going to give Marcus a little gift of our appreciation, and he's going to give us something autographed that we can auction off. And I imagine, and that's how we raise our funds for the next year, so you ought to be in the park because at least you'll find out what the hell is going on and how much money we can raise for Juneteenth this year. What else do we have? That's enough stuff already. We got the rodeo coming up at the Huntingdon County Fairgrounds. You can Google that. There's a special event for kids with cancer. That's coming up at the Huntingdon County Fairgrounds as well. Plus, I think we just selected another Dairy Princess this year. Yeah, they were at the radio station the other day with Jeff Speck. So that's what's happening for now, but we are coming back live. It's going to be called Live in Raystown Country. You're going to hear it here on the airnetwork.net. No, by the way, I failed to mention that Ike Taylor, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, will be joining the Air Network this fall. Listen for his podcast sometime this summer, and then he will be doing an hour-long show. I believe it's on Tuesday evenings. Monday evenings, we're going to have our Monday Night Sports Talk, as we've always done. Plus, we've got Bearcat football coming up. and also basketball, and in addition to wrestling. And yeah, we'll do baseball and softball next year too. And maybe a surprise, maybe Huntingdon Little League coming up in the next few weeks. So be listening for that information, be watching it on Facebook, and also be looking for it at the Air Network. That's theairnetwork.net. Everybody wants to call it airnetwork.com. It's not. You'll never find us there. It's the airnetwork.net. And we are we're kind of a global network. And we've got Ike Taylor joining us soon, and probably some other NFL stars as well. We'll tell you more about that. We're pretty excited. Hey, so thanks for joining me on this podcast. It's Steve Austin. I already worked like 4 hours today on the radio. I'm tired. Time to watch some basketball. Oh, by the way, go Pens!